All right, so the next step we're going to run through is going to be our settings within survey styles. We find about 90% of the time clients having issues with not getting radio link at their rover. It's a simple setting that gets accidentally bumped or changed within the survey styles. We do have a separate video if you want a more in-depth view on our YouTube, if you want to know more about survey styles. But for this video, we're going to jump just straight into the things that we need to have in common in order for our good communication between the base and the rover. So there's 4 items that need to be in common between the base and the rover, such as the broadcast format, the frequency being used, our over-the-air data protocol / baud rate, and our serial baud rate. So we're just going to jump straight in here. We can do our main menu button, jump down to settings, and then survey styles. The survey style you guys are currently using probably is a standard or traditional RTK survey style, so we'll go into edit that. And the first thing we're going to look at is our broadcast format, and this will be found in 2 locations. We'll go into rover options here first. Here we have our broadcast format. Obviously we have a multitude of options. Our recommendation on newer equipment is to run CMRX. So we're going to go ahead and set that, hit accept. And we also need to verify that it's the same at the base. As you can see, we've got CMRX here for broadcast as well. So our first step's been complete within our survey style. Next thing we're going to want to check is the frequency, and we can get to this a couple different ways. I can go to rover data link. This will be set to radio and receiver internal. I'm currently connected to my rover receiver. I can hit connect at the bottom. Here's where I'm going to need to match the frequency that's set on the TDL radio. We'll go through that step next, but here we can either pick which frequency we're going to run on and then match it on the TDL, or you can read what the TDL is set to and then match the frequency here. Now that that's complete, we need to look at our over-the-air data protocol and baud rate, and this will be here under our rover radio under base radio mode. The protocol we're going to be using is TrimTalk V1. This will also need to be in common with what's set on the TDL radio back at the base station. So this is more or less the language that we're speaking, and the 9600 BPS is the rate or the speed at which that language is being spoken. So whatever we set here needs to match what's on the TDL. Lastly, we're going to jump into base data link. Go ahead and hit accept here. Under base data link, we need to set our serial baud rate. This is the rate at which we're flowing data from the base receiver through the cable to the TDL radio itself. So as mentioned just previously, our over-the-air protocol and baud rate is set to 9600. 9600 is going to be less than the 38400 that's set on the serial baud rate. The reason we do this is to prevent lag or basically miscommunication. Our over-the-air needs to be slower than our serial baud rate. So we're going to set this to 38400. We'll see this number pop up again when we get to the TDL settings. And then last but not least, the other thing we need to check here is the receiver port. Basically what we're determining here is which port on the base receiver are we going to flow our correction to. An R8S or some of the older R6s and R8s, for example, there's a 9-pin or RS-232 connection. That's typically port 2. And then there's a round 7-pin LEMO connection, which is port 1. 99% of the time, this will need to be set to port 1. If these settings look correct, we can hit accept. And most importantly, we need to store our survey style. With this now complete, we'll go ahead and jump over to the TDL, take a look at the settings there, and see if we can get you up and running.